Real Geeks here. We are about to talk about my favorite roadside attraction of all times. It really is. It's so my favorite roadside attraction.
Then he says like, "God stop it."
South of the border.
Yeah, that.
Because Pedro rocks. So, south of the border. What is it? Jess, the first time I took you to south of the border, what were you expecting? When I mentioned it for you the first time, your face, you looked at me, you're like, what are you talking about?
No, I've heard of it.
You've heard, everybody's heard of south of the border. But have you experienced south of the border is the other thing.
I had not previously. I had driven past south of the border, but I had never stopped.
Well, we meet again, Pedro. We meet again. I experienced it when I was a kid. Stopping again when we stopped was everything I remembered. So let me tell you, south of the border is the #1 rest stop / roadside attraction in the United States that you could ever stop at. Everybody around the world knows the south of the border.
They have great bathrooms.
I can tell you, coming down 95, you ever need a toilet, south of the border is the place to go.
Every time we go to the south of the border, we get there and it's in the
It's always in the middle of the night. Right. I mean, at least it's not like 4 in the morning, Jess. We're known to show up south of the border like 4 o'clock in the morning.
We've done that a couple times.
It's only 12:30 in the morning right now. I mean, we're a little early for our own time, so it's all right. Because I preferred that.
Because we always have a long
drive, right? But I prefer that because south of the border is all neon lit.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And it's amazing. You're driving down 95, and all of a sudden you see this glow of neon lights in the distance. You know you're at south of the border once you hit there. So where did it start? South of the border started in the 1950s by a man by the name of Alan Schaefer. Long story short with Alan is he was a political man. He was a Democrat. We're not going to get into that aspect of it, but rumor has it is Alan had a hand on the construction of I-95.
Yeah, so as we found out in looking into south of the border and like what was the story behind south of the border, like we were kind of curious.
Right.
So found out that south of the border actually predated somehow the highway even going through there.
So it predated because Alan Schaefer actually
maybe had the inside track.
Right, but it actually started off where Alan Schaefer was a beer manufacturer and distributing beer in North and South Carolina. So basically he had materials shipped and it shipped to the wrong place and the materials ended up at where south of the border is. He's like, well, we're going to use it here. And what originally was south of the border was just a single standing hamburger stand on the side of the road. That's it.
And gas station or?
Just a hamburger stand. Not even a gas station at that point. Later on, after a man came into the hamburger stand with stuffed animals, he was on the side, going down the highway, had no money for gas, and he had a whole bunch of stuffed animals that he was selling. So he set up shop inside the hamburger stand, and Alan Schaefer was that man who would give his shirt off your back to you. So he was like, you know what? Hey, go ahead. If you can sell them here, go ahead. And then Alan saw what this guy was selling, and he was like, you know what? This is great. We're going to go off of this. And the idea south of the border came from there.
We're going to start selling stuff.
The name south of the border wasn't in existence at this point. It wasn't until Alan Schaefer heard the song South of the Border Mexican Way that's when he said, that's the theme of it. That's what we're calling it. We're going with it. So when they expanded to south of the border, all it was a motel, a log fort, and a zoo. That's all south of the border was at first. It's all history from there. You're driving down I-95. You're in the middle of North Carolina. What do you start seeing?
This many miles to Pedro.
You never had a sausage like this before. You know, come to Pedro's t-shirt shop, get a Mexican hat. You know, an X amount of miles.
Yeah. The countdown to Pedro.
But what if I told you those signs were there before I-95 was even on the map?
That's crazy.
Alan Schaefer designed those billboards himself.
Really?
He made the billboards at south of the border, bought land where he envisioned I-95 going for prime real estate for these billboards, and owned a piece of the land of there and the billboard. So that's why the billboards have never changed ever since. Early 95 days, there were billboards all the way up to Philadelphia.
Like south of the border billboards?
South of the border billboards were all the way from Philadelphia down to South Carolina. And then, vice versa, the opposite way was they were from Miami to south of the border. So, advertisement-wise,
yeah.
you were sitting in your car on this brand new interstate that led you from,
like there had
New
to be
York.
people that were looking at south of the border billboards all their life. That if they ever got near it, were like, "Oh no, we're stopping." I've been looking at south of the border,
and that's what he wanted. He at one point there was close to like 250 billboards up just for south of the border alone. So you're driving from New York to Miami, right? Because all the snowbirds or vacation, whatever, it was always the big getaway was to go to Florida from New York, always. So between New York and Miami, what's halfway? South of the border is right there. It's the exact halfway between New York and Miami.
Really?
It's dead center, yes. So it's rumored, it's not proven, that Alan Schaefer had a hand on the layout of I-95. It was rumored that I-95 should have been 30 miles away from south of the border, but he was a chairman on the board of designing I-95, so he had a lot of political play in South Carolina, in the Dillon area. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get too much into the politics of Mr. Schaefer. It's not what I want to do. I want this to be focused on the fun of what south of the border is. I mean, I could tell you one political thing that he did was he made it welcoming to everybody. What do I mean by that? There was no lines for colors or, segregational lines. So everybody used the same bathroom. Everybody used the same counter. He didn't want this to be an issue. It became an issue. You can dig into that yourself. There's more out there on that. But
wasn't it like the first place in the South that didn't?
It's rumored to be one of the first places in the South that has done non-segregational lines.
So Alan was a good dude.
Well, that's the thing too. The funny that you say that too is because everybody that worked at south of the border and still works there, Alan Schaefer did pass away in the 90s or so.
Oh yeah.
Alan Schaefer passed away in the 90s or so. But everybody that knew Alan and worked at south of the border was always there for years. He would bring you in.
That says a lot.
He employed like 90% of Dillon. He would employed. Everybody that lived in that area would work at south of the border as their first job. And the first person on record that was there the longest right now was there he brought her in as a cashier. Well, she ended up working in their main corporate office. Yes, south of the border has a corporate office. And she's the head of like the whole office, like the general manager south of the border now. And she came in as cashier. Like, he trained her, he molded her, and it was known that Alan would walk around and talk to the employees, but not in a boss way. Yeah. More of, hey, how's it going? You know, how's business? You know, what's going on at home? That type of thing. Yeah. Like, Alan Schaefer was probably the original undercover boss, if you really think about it. I mean, he would get involved. It's to this day. There's still people working
undercover.
No, but if you think of it, it's kind of like the same. Anyways, like to this day, there's still people working there that knew him and was working under Alan. And they just refuse to leave south of the border just because of how well they're taken care of as an employee.
That's great.
Like, go think of this massive roadside attraction. This freak show of a gas station. And to this day, there's people working there for over 40 years. Like, can you say that like your original like job? I know with me, I worked at the Bronx Zoo. I mean, you can, all right. I mean, it's not so much of a roadside attraction, but it could. You know, I would never be there for 40 years for my first job. I mean, I would never be there for 40. And
I mean, if I was going to stay at a job, it would probably be at a zoo.
Well, I mean, but he also liked to move people up in the ranks.
That's great.
That worked for him, and
so Alan was a good dude.
He was. He really was. So, I mean, south of the border has gone through a number of changes through the years. They've added, an amusement park. They've added arcades, restaurants. There's a number of restaurants. There's 2 gas stations there. One gas station's open 24 hours with a convenience store. It's right off in 95. Easy on, easy off. Yeah, we do know it well.
It's actually open when we
it's
go
the
there.
One that's going to be in the video. It's in the video. But it's just a mecca of people from all over the world stopping there. Famous people stop there. They've made a movie there. Forces of Nature was filmed there. The amusement park scene was filmed at south of the border. Wow. Yeah, that was with Sandra Bullock and Ben Affleck. So the employees always say that they see famous people coming through all the time, musicians coming through, their buses stop there, and they spend a little bit of time. But that's just what south of the border is. It's like what, like I don't know. It's just, it's something we need, but we don't need at the same time. What are your takes on south of the border?
They have great bathrooms.
We covered that in the video. Yeah, they're like every aspect is thought out of this place.
And a great little puppy bathroom outside too.
Yeah, a pet relief area is great. Like, what other roadside attraction do you come across that you find a pet relief area like south of the borders? And here's an awesome thing is if you're with your pet, your dog or whatever, they got an area for them. How many rest stops other than this place has bathrooms for your pet? Right there, check that out. Oh man. Everyone else it has a sign that takes you so far away, like close to the highway, the edge, to the edge of the highway. There's no giant fire hydrant there, or they have a dog house. They have running water for your dog to actually drink water at this rest stop.
Yeah, they care about puppies.
I mean, it's amazing that.
And I'm still tackling my saltwater taffy that I got there, and it's delicious.
I mean, one thing I do like to say is what we noticed in the video, we pointed out again in the video is it's. If you're not there before 9 o'clock at night, you're not getting into any of the stores. Don't be like us and think that every shop is open after midnight. They all close at 9. Only thing open is the gas station.
Yeah.
But you can actually stay the night at south of the border at the motel.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto the ramp to Florida.
With all the flamingos outside there, which was awesome.
That was cool.
You know?
One day we'll have to do that.
Yeah, one day we will. I mean, they also have a truck stop. So not only do people traveling with families and stuff get to stop there, but truckers get to stop there too. You know, they thought of it all.
Stay in a fancy place.
I mean, exactly. So, you know, back, way back, I guess the 60s or so, they wanted to bring video gambling to south of the border.
Oh. Then it would have been super popular.
Right. But, I mean, that being popular, but this is popular in its own way where people want to get married at south of the border. They have parties at south of, there's conventions at south of the border.
They do.
There's multiple events that happen there. There's motocross events that happen at south of the border. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Like, I love the place. I really do. I really do. Honestly, it's one of my highlights of driving down 95 is looking for Pedro's coming or, you know, all the south of the border signs on the way. It makes your drive a little better looking forward for something, you know. Yeah. I mean, especially that's like we're driving down, like we're coming back from New York just now. We're driving down 95 and you know, North Carolina, South Carolina. There's nothing for miles.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And then you start seeing these signs for south of the border coming up, and it kind of gives you that little extra oomph, like, okay, cool, we're going to be there soon, you know, even though it's like 80 miles away, it's coming up, you know, like, I'm going to stop. I know where I'm stopping. I'm not stopping at a dirty rest stop, or I'm stopping somewhere fun to get gas for the car, make myself feel better, grab some food, grab some fireworks. Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Fireworks.
Definitely that.
is, let me tell you, fireworks is their number one business at south of the border. You would think gas or food would be number one, right?
Yeah.
Fireworks are number one, are what brings the money into the door for south of the border. And then, I mean, you know, south of the border, you can get fireworks here galore.
It's crazy. They have a big fireworks shop.
They really do. In every shop, too, that they sell fireworks in also.
Yeah.
It is their mecca of that place is fireworks.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Stuff is south of the border. They have great bathrooms. And great snacks.
That's all Jess gets from south of the border. I get this, like, it brings a child out of you.
One day I'll be here during the day and get to go in the other stores, and then I'll tell you what other great things you could have.
But if you do stop at south of the border, I think it's awesome to stop at nighttime though.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see it at night. Just the neon lights, the sign, the big sign on 95, you know, neon lights from south of the border, but I think that's enough from us. Let us from south of the border tell you more.
Welcome to South Carolina.
Well, we meet again, Pedro. We meet again. And there he is, Pedro standing in all his glory. If you haven't figured it out, yeah, we're at south of the border. A must stop, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, where else can you get tacos, chili dogs, and tamales on the side of the road along I-95? And then there's shops everywhere too. Candies. Oh, Jess, look, they got grits. So I think that's the ultimate question. Where the hell is south of the border? And then, I mean, you know, south of the border, you can get fireworks here galore. And SOB has multiple meetings, apparently. These are fun. Some cups and everything. Some shot glasses. That's awesome. Of course, when we pull up to SOB, hi, you see what I did there, right? It's pouring.
Yes.
I mean, at least it's not like 4 in the morning, Jess. We're known to show up south of the border like 4 o'clock in the morning.
We've done that a couple times.
It's only 12:30 in the morning right now. I mean, we're a little early for our own time, so Jess is just getting the dog some water right now. But let's go see what's around here real quick. I tell you, coming down 95, you ever need a toilet? South of the border is the place to go. Just saying.
Very clean.
And you got your own private little
And it's like a little private room.
I'm not taking you in there, don't worry. It's not happening. And Leia, you cannot have saltwater taffy, sorry. Jess got some saltwater taffy in there that Leia just wants. Nobody saw that. And here's an awesome thing is if you're with your pet, your dog or whatever, they got an area for them. How many rest stops other than this place has bathrooms for your pet? Right there, check that out. Oh man. Yes, Leia has used it before on a number of times. So many Pedros around here. This is awesome. So awesome. Are you excited to be at south of the border? Are you excited? Are you excited to see Pedro? So, they have hats from around the world here, right? You know how they can make a killing right now? Masks from around the world. Right? I mean... Don't be like us and think that every shop is open after midnight. They all close at 9. Only thing open is the gas station. But I can at least show it to you from the outside. A little toy shop here. Nothing says Merry Christmas like a horse head and a cactus dressed up for Christmas. Check out this Day of the Dead tree they got behind this store here. All south of the border ornaments on it too. What an awesome gift to bring home to anybody is a t-shirt from south of the border from Pedro. Pedro's t-shirt shop. Giant chicken butt. We can go home now. There's a giant chicken butt in front of us.
Dun, dun, dun.
Turn left onto US 301 North, US 501 North.
Hi, Pedro.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto the ramp to Florida.
King Kong! I found the jackalope. We found him. Next to the dinosaur.
Oh no.
Alright. We're out of here south of the border. Next time.